Hey, Kai here, back again with some theories and thoughts and recaps. I have a bunch of little pieces in my mind right now, so I'm sorry if it's not very organized, but roll with me. So I have a thought that is probably way more detailed than it needs to be for one piece, but I am a science nerd also. So I went into that rabbit hole and came up with this theory. So on the wiki, it mentions that the Sapphire scales are like three diseases in actual reality, human reality. One of them is the EPP, erythropoietic protophoria. I probably butchered that word, but I'll put it up on the screen. Ichthyosis, and porphyria. Now, those diseases have a few things in common. One of which are they all have something to do with photosensitivity, the sapphire scales. Two, they all seem to be hereditary. Three, which I found quite interesting, is none of those diseases appear to be sexually transmitted. And I'm highlighting that because there's a theory going around that Ginny got it because of her husband passed it on to her, but none of those diseases are actually STIs. And this is a fictional world, so there really are no rules. Oda could do whatever it is he want. But if he is modeling sapphire scales off of those diseases, then it's possible that sapphire scale, how Ginny got it, was not from her husband, but she always had the gene or that mutation. It was in her, lying in her dormant, and that's why it didn't take effect until later. We don't know anything about Ginny's history. She was an orphan, just like Ivankov, and that's at least up to now. Oda hasn't revealed anything about her, so we don't know what her parents had looked like or anything like that. So let's just say that Bonnie got the disease from Ginny, and Ginny didn't necessarily get it from her husband. She got it from her parents, but due to experiments that the Gorosei did, because there's no way that the Gorosei didn't do some kind of experiments. I feel like it'll be real easy to assume that either the Gorosei or the Celestial Dragons or whatever did experiments on anybody that wasn't a Celestial Dragon. So let's just say that that's what they did, and that activated Ginny's illness, and that's why she got sick. And when they realized she got sick, they discarded her. No, that's like one of the theories that I'm going with. But how and what Sapphire scale is. So Vegapunk in chapter 1099 says that he could fix that. He could cure Bonnie's disease, and he could cure it by stem cell therapy. Now, stem cells are undifferentiated cells. Basically, they, like in the body, you could have all kind of different cells, muscle cells, heart cells. And those cells are like differentiated, so they are meant to do a specific thing for the rest of their life. You will never get a muscle cell turn into a heart cell, or vice versa. But before they become specialized, they are unspecialized, and those are stem cells. Now, stem cells are known to be a regenerative therapy. The sapphire scale disease is a degenerative ailment, and the cells that are in question or are compromised are differentiated cells, and not just differentiated cells, terminally differentiated cells. So cells that can't proliferate, they can't even make more of themselves. Once they are damaged, they're damaged. And examples of that are like neurons and heart cells and skeletal muscle cells and red blood cells. So basically, just follow me. Sapphire scales, that sickness is a degenerative disease that targets terminally differentiated cells. So these cells once they are damaged, are done. They can't repair themselves, they can't make more of themselves. They are done. Stem cell therapy is a regenerative therapy, which means it replaces what has been damaged. It grows whole new cells that turn into what you need and replaces those damaged cells. Now, with that in mind, going back to the 3 diseases that Sapphire scales kind of get the inspiration from, the one common theme I realize is that they are a result of a deficiency in red blood cells. Something went wrong in that person's red blood cells. So let's go on with that pattern and say that Sapphire scales is a disease that is about the red blood cells. It's a deficiency. Something is faulty in the user's red blood cells. I think that is cool. Why? Because I am a nerd. And I had to dig deep to get that little bit. Did I go too far in for the story? Probably. Does this really matter? I don't think so. But I like that story. I like building on that story, that it could just very well be that is where the Sapphire scale illness, that's like the root, that's what that, like the science behind that. And that is how Vegapunk is going to cure it. So yeah, thanks for listening to my rant. Completely irrelevant. I don't think it added too much to the story. It was very much me going down a rabbit hole and decided to record it and post it as a video. But I do have random theories, some related, some relevant, some not, that I'll keep sharing with you guys. So keep listening. Thank you. Bye.